While I'm waiting for y'all to come in, I'm going to. Oh, shoot, I left my little tray. I gotta go back in the house. I'm going to get the plants. Okay, we got some rearranging that we got to do. I want to take this pot. So I want to take this aeonium and transfer her into this pot. This one is wider. It don't need to be deeper. I just need it to be a little bit wider because she getting top heavy and because it's so windy over here, she falling over a lot and it's not enough soil. So aeoniums are dormant during the summer. They don't grow during the summer. They do the majority of their growing during the winter. So I take her out of the sun. She doesn't get as much sun. She only gets like afternoon sun because eventually her leaves are gonna kind of close up a little bit. So I do have some trimming I need to do. Is this? look like it's got any drainage holes. Oh, wait. Does this come out? Oh, yeah, there is no drainage. God damn. Why do I keep buying these pots that don't have drainage holes? And then my husband has to come out here with a with his drill, and I can't call him. He can do it after me. We did it before. After I hold the pot like I did last time, and he put a hole in it because I'm not going to go back in the house. How did I get this open the last time? Like that. It's been a slow news day, which I guess is a good thing because when it's a lot going on in the news, it's always like bad news. Shoot. Okay. I don't want to spill the soil. And if I spill it, I'm going to be able to get it. See if that's enough. The only thing about gardening, and I don't think I brought my gloves out here, is cleaning up the spider webs and stuff. So I do want to get all of that off. All of the dead leaves, you want to get those off when you repot. And sometimes you may have to touch a spider web. It's not going to kill you. It's not I try to do it fast. That way my mind is not going, ooh, spider web. You want to check for any, like, dead leaves or, you know, and you're checking for bugs and, everything. You want to get all of that stuff off because you're repotting and you're giving. So she had a fairy, and we're going to definitely put her back in there because that's where she lives. So we're going to take her out, and we are going to look at the roots. Look like we had a snail come down in there, but she looks good. She looks dry. I'm gonna give her a good watering. So I'm gonna break this up, break this old soil up as much as I can. It's kind of rough. I think I've had this plant, I've had this less than a year, I think. But when I got it from the nursery, I didn't repot it. I probably should have repotted it then. Ooh, this soil is hard. I might have to take this over there and break it up. Okay, no, it's coming. So you just want to, I don't know if y'all can see this. You just want to break it up, break the soil up so that when you water it, it can get some of that moisture. Yeah, she's real dry. God, oh, okay, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this old soil up with this new soil. And put her down in there. And start to fill the pot back up. Now I'm gonna water her really good. What is over there? What you over there doing? Yeah, repotting the plant. She was super dry. And it looks like she was reaching for the sun. I might sit her out, but I don't want to over sun her because these grow, they don't grow that much in the summer, but it hasn't been super hot out lately. It's been warm, but it hasn't been super hot. So I'm going to sit her in the sun for a little while. And then I got this young lady who is not only, y'all ain't gonna be able to see me at all, who is not only growing, but she has a baby. This is why I wanted to come out here, because I wanted to get her out of this pot that she's in, because she has a child, and I want to get that child out before it gets squished. She's got a baby right here. And I want to see how I can get her out without hurting her. She looks like she's big enough to stand alone. I got to figure out where she is without breaking her stem. This plant is wet. I'll put some soil in there. So has anything been going on in the news that I may have missed? There's some ignorant people in this world. I wonder what that is. What's that? Well, I be seeing stuff in plants that I have never seen. Is that I guess that's the root system. But I've never seen one that color before. I guess that's part of the root. I want to get this baby off of here. Let's see, where is she? I don't want to lose all this good soil. Where you at, girl? Where you at? I need to get you from your mama. Come on now. Is that you? Yeah, that's you. Come on. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you got to leave your mommy. You got to leave your mama. I got you. I got you. Mommy told me that you a big girl and you can stand by yourself. Let me clean mama up. Mama's got a lot of, she's got a lot of leaves that are dead. When you repot, that's one thing you want to do is go through. It'll give you a chance to really look at the plant and go through and clean up any dead leaves. All of these are dead. So you want to get all of those out. Any dead leaves you see. And this is the only time that you really gonna see them like that is when you are cleaning up the plant. And this is the mother and this is her baby. And I'm going to put the baby in a separate pot so that she can grow. And this will give mama a chance to have a bigger pot and she can grow another child. She can have another pup. That's one thing that I love about succulents is if you get them in the right growing situation, they will multiply. You can get one plant and have a bunch more. So I'm gonna put her in there. This to be, I want her to be a little bit higher. I'm like, how many more do I have? I only got one more pot. I'm always at Walmart trying to figure out how many pots do I need. Hey, Melissa, we're gardening today. I am repotting one of the plants that I just got this weekend. I knew I was going to have to repot it when I purchased it. I said today is a nice day. It's a little windy, but it's not cold. So today is a nice day to come out and be in the garden. And if y'all want to get into gardening, just find something. You don't have to have a large space to garden in. I don't have a huge space. I garden in pots. All of my succulents are in pots because when we do move, I want to just be able to pick everything up and go. So I don't have anything in the ground here. But I don't did I had a jade in the ground at the other apartment where we used to live. And what I did was when we got ready to move, I just took a piece of it. I broke a big piece of it off and brought that with me and just left the main plant in the ground. Okay, I think we just about got her in there. I'm not gonna water her because her soil, I guess they had watered her a lot at Walmart. So I'm not gonna water her. I'm just gonna let her be for a couple of days. I'm gonna put her in the shade. I don't want her to have full sun right now. I'm gonna put her in the shade and I'm gonna watch her for about a week or so until I think her soil has dried out a little bit because it was really wet. So let's see how much of a root system does this baby have. Not a whole lot. It's got some. It's got a few roots. So we banking on her holding on to that. And she probably will. I'm pretty sure she'll be okay. So I'm gonna do her just like I don't have a brush here. I'm gonna do her just like I did her mama. I'm going to not water her right now. I'm not gonna give her any water. I'm gonna give her about a week. I'll probably check on her in a couple of days. See how she doing. So we got her. And then this big one. I gotta try to get out this pot. This a big one. Hey, Tina, Tina. Did Phoenix have to get rid of somebody? I saw somebody had said something ignorant. Like, you got to really have a messed up life to go into somebody's life that's gardening and taking care and just minding their own business to say something crazy. I thought I saw something crazy. But I'm like, child, I don't even have time to play with these little children. You got to be somebody's child. This is in there kind of tight. You got to be somebody's child to be on the internet playing. You don't have time for that. Nice. Root system. I'm just messing up my glasses. Okay. What are we going to do here? We are going to remove the mother. Okay? We're going to take the mama. We're going to remove her from all of these babies and give her an opportunity to have more babies. So, we're going to break up some of these roots. Nice soil. Break up some of these roots. I mean, she got 11 dozen babies. I'm probably going to put a baby someplace else in one of these other pots. She got babies for days. Like, girl, don't talk about me. Girl, you was having you some babies. Come on now. Y'all gonna have to let go of mama. Y'all gonna have to let mama go. No, I love my mommy. I know you do, but it's time for you to be a big girl. Come on. Come on now. Honey, they are holding on to their mama. They not playing with me. Come on, girl. 'Cause I don't want to cut you out. I want to break you off so that I have your root system. They are legit connected to her. Take all the soil off. So the mother plant and the babies have rooted together. Look at that. Look at that beautiful root system. They are rooted together. But see, mama's roots, her roots are thicker than theirs. I mean, there's one baby that is attached to her that I don't want to take off because it's too small. She has a really small baby right here. I can't get that one off. I don't want to get that one off. That one has to stay with her because it's too small. But the rest of these, they're going to have to come off. Y'all got to come off. Y'all big enough to live. You big enough to live on your own. Look like I got one of them. And don't worry about breaking the roots. Don't worry about breaking the roots because they will grow more. They will grow more roots. That's just part of the plant. And I'm glad I got down here because look at that. You always want to take stuff like that off. So not only is she having babies, but her babies are having babies. So I'm just going to break her off and keep this big clump of children together if I can. These things are so big. So I have never removed, and these little pokey things are poking. I probably should have my gloves on. Okay, I got another one. Okay, they're coming apart now. And I'm going to plant them. I'm going to plant the mama. I might leave one of these on here with her. I'm going to plant the mama in a pot. Child, if I'm cleaning this up and the spider come out, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be mad. So I'm gonna plant the mama in here, and I'm going to plant the babies. What I do with my scooper, and I'm gonna plant the babies in a few of them in there, and then I have another just like tray. I might put one of them in there. I'm gonna kind of spread them around in my garden because I don't want them all in the same pot. She really don't need all these roots. She don't need all that. And don't be afraid to cut your plants back, cut the roots because they will grow back. The roots will grow back. You're not killing the plant by trimming the roots. You're actually helping. I want this up a little bit higher. I didn't almost use this whole bag of soil on just two plants. In fact, let me use some of this because this was good soil. Mix it in. Uh-oh. Come on, girl. Let's put you in here. There you go. There you go. So what's the weather like in y'all area? I need to find some food. Girl, my gloves are, I think they in my little bag, but I work better without my gloves. My husband be like, I bought you them garden gloves and I never use them. I mean, always out here getting my hands dirty. I'll never wear no gloves. And these things are spiky. Like they got spikes on them for real. And I'm just out here touching them. This is what is it? Not pterodactyl. It's it has the name of is the name on here? A velociraptor. This is a velociraptor aloe. And it's named that because of the spikies, the way that the spikies look. They say it looks like, when a velociraptor opens his mouth. But that is the official name of this aloe. And this is a medicinal aloe used by um, Native Americans and Hispanics, Spanish people have used this aloe for centuries for medicinal purposes. I think they make a tea out of it too. Of course, for cuts and burns and everything, they do cut this aloe, and I think it's used for. It has some medicinal purposes. So there is a mother and one. I left her one child. I didn't take all her kids. So there's a mother and one child in here. Now, I'm going to put the rest of her, I'm going to look at the rest of her babies. So, some of them look like they have a little bit of water damage. And I'm going to take that off. I don't want that in there. And this one has a really nice root system. And I'm going to put maybe two of the babies in here. And I'm going to have to watch them. Depending on how fast they grow, I'm going to leave them in this nursery pot. But I'm going to watch them. This is my first aloe, so I'm not really sure how fast they grow. I mean, I have other aloes, but not this particular one. So, depending on how fast they grow, I will take it out and put it in another pot. But I'm going to see how many I can get in here. I probably won't get all 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably won't get all 5 of these in here. I'm probably going to put like 3 of them and then find a space for the other ones. It's been pretty quiet on YouTube. Oh, it's only in the 70s here. And I'm happy that it's not windy because for the past couple of days, it's been super windy here. Like, not cold, just windy. Like, God, no. Can we have a day when it's not windy? Because I wanted to come out here and do this yesterday, but it was too windy. Like, I'm not going out there when it's windy. Now, the soil that has like a lot of stuff in it, I'm not going to reuse that. But the rest of this, I'm going to reuse. There's nothing wrong with it. I be putting this tray down to try to keep my workspace clean. I need to order that other one from Amazon that you sit down when you gardening because this ain't really helping. Or I'm just a messy gardener. But is it a such thing as a neat gardener though? Does anybody garden neat? Now I'm filling this almost up because these plants are small and I don't want them deep down in the pot. I want them up kind of high. Will a pocket knife kill them? What you mean to like get the roots? Okay, so we gonna put this one in first. It's got a real long root system. I might have to water this one because these seem kind of dry. So put that down in there. And see, these don't mind being close to each other because they were close to each other, on top of each other, basically. So I'm gonna plant them kind of back close to each other. Okay. So see where that those dark leaves are? I'm pulling those off. I'm not sure if they like it got too much water in the nursery pot. That's what it looks like. And I'm just gonna take those leaves off. The plant will be fine. I might have to take that one off too. Okay, so this is what we got for this one after I cleaned up around there. So I'm gonna dig a hole. So I might have two that I have to put in another pot. Gardening ain't for you if you don't like to get dirty. If you don't like to get dirty, it ain't for you. I don't mind getting dirty. Okay, I'm thinking, should I squeeze one more in here? But I really don't want to. I need a little bit more soil. All I got is a little bit. I haven't really been watching any videos today because we had to go grocery shopping. We did that. And when we came back from grocery shopping, I was like, oh, it's such a nice day. I'm going to go outside and um, tend to my plants. So I haven't really had a chance to catch up on a lot of the videos. But I do want to say this. I did get a chance to um, watch a video last night of one person that I watch a lot. And she brought up some of her childhood traumas. And I'm telling you, if you don't deal with your childhood traumas, they will deal with you. They will most definitely deal with you. And they will deal with you as an adult. This one broke off. And see all of that aloe vera that's in there. If I had a cut or something, I could put that on there. If you don't deal with your childhood traumas, they will deal with you. Even as an adult, they will get you. They will come back to you and they will haunt you. One thing that I did that I'm so grateful for is, oh no, she fell off. I'm going to put her in here with her big sisters and brothers, and hopefully she will, she has a root, so hopefully she'll grow. Um, okay, I'll put her in there with her sisters and brothers, and hopefully she will grow. Should I put one more in there with her mama? Because I'm like, where else am I going to put y'all? I think I'll put you in there with your mama. And I'm going to find a place for you. Hold on, y'all. Let me dig this hole. Okay. I'll put him in here with his mom. And then I only have one more to do. And we'll be finished. Um, I was watching her video, and she was talking about being the ugly little girl, the fat little girl. She even said she was the stinky little girl at school. And I was the chubby girl. I was the chubby girl. But I was the chubby cute girl. I was the chubby girl that dressed nice. My mom always kept me dressed nice because my mother was like, basically, you gonna pick a struggle. You can't be fat and funny looking. You can't be that because you will get picked on. You can't be the fat kid that dresses funny or smells funny. You can't be that. If you gonna be the chubby kid, you gotta be the chubby cute kid. You gotta be the chubby kid that always come to school with something new. Your hair got to be done, and that's how I was. I was the chubby, cute girl that always had nice things. My hair was always nice. Like my mother took me to the beauty shop. My hair was always pressed or curled or whatever. Like I stayed cute. And stink, never. I could never stink. I was not a stinky child, okay? I was not stinking nowhere. So, listening to her say that she was the chubby girl, she was, I guess she had a big nose in elementary school. She just wasn't, one of the cute kids, and she got teased. And she had problems at home. When you have problems at home and problems at school, that's a lot. That's a lot for a child to deal with. And if you don't have any way to process what's going on, like you can't process what's going on at school, at home, because your home life is jacked up, you screwed. Because I could at least go home and tell my mother that somebody had called me fat or whatever, and my mother was like, so what? She called you fat because she jealous of you. She just trying to break you down because you cute. It was never like I went home and told my mother that somebody called me fat, and my mother was like, oh, well, you are fat. You fat and ugly. Like, never. My mother would never. Like, home has always been my safe space. Like, my mom was always my number one cheerleader. If anything happened, my mother would always be the main one telling me, how, girl, don't worry about them kids. Them kids, they just hating on you because their life is jacked up, or, they wish they had what you had. And a lot of my friends did. A lot of my friends would tell me, like they loved coming to my house because my mother was that mother that made the cookies and, lemonade and Kool-Aid and stuff. We'd be sitting on the porch and my mama would come outside with a pitcher of Kool-Aid or, tuna sandwiches or something. So, my house was like the fun house. Like my mother was just really nice to all the kids and stuff, all the kids in the neighborhood. But back then, kids knew, like we knew each other's parents. We knew each other's parents, and we felt comfortable you felt comfortable at your friend's house. And it's crazy because me and this person are like in the same age group, but it seems like she didn't have the best parents. And it just all boils down to how you were parented, what happened to you as a child. It does affect how you act as an adult, especially if your childhood was janky and you didn't get any therapy. Even though my childhood wasn't janky, it wasn't my childhood that was janky. It was like my 20 something when I got married and divorced. That was when I was like, you know what? I'm going to therapy because this ain't the life I thought I was going to have. Like, it really wasn't. I'm looking at this other plant that needs to be in a bigger pot, and I'm thinking, should I do it now while I'm out here? And I'm like, I think I need to add a little bit more soil. Let me put you over here. Do I have any more? Where else can I put that? Okay. What was I saying? Oh, therapy. When I got divorced, I was like, yeah, I need to. That was when I realized I needed to go to therapy. And therapy brings up a lot of things. You know, I did have some childhood trauma that I was legit trying to ignore. I was trying to, I'm sorry, sweetheart, I'm gonna have to take you out of here. I was trying to pretend like some things that had happened to me as a child didn't matter. But the therapist brought up some of those things in therapy. Some of those things were brought out and they were dealt with. Because if you don't deal with your trauma will deal with you your whole entire life. If you don't deal with your trauma, I really want to put her in here, but I'm like, no, she's gonna stretch out and she's gonna need all of this pot to herself. Because see, this is her mama. And she's gonna fill this whole pot out. This is her baby. And she's gonna need this pot because she's gonna stretch out this way. She's gonna be nice and round. So she needs all this pot to herself. So I'm not gonna put nobody else in there with you, girl. I'm gonna let you have this one to yourself. But you better grow. You better show out. I done gave you a whole pot to yourself. You better show out. Don't embarrass me. You're like, why you put that little old plant in that pot? Because she gonna grow. She gonna grow. She a baby right now, but she gonna be a big girl. So this plant, I had to go on the plant forum because I thought that that was mold, but people are saying that sometimes they do that. And this is their growing season. They grow in the summer. This is a hen and chicks. And honey, she got babies for days. So that soil could just be old. So I'm gonna give her some new soil. It's a healthy plant. So everybody was saying if it was mildew, the plant wouldn't be that healthy. It could just be old soil. Child, you know how you be like, oh, I'm not gonna make a mess. I'm gonna have to get the broom out here. Yeah, this needs some water. I don't want to break her babies up. I'm not going to take her away from her children, even though I do want to take a couple of these off, a couple of the bigger ones, and put them in a smaller pot. See if I can get some of these off. Oh, there's a lot of perlite in here. I need to add some more water. Get her some water. She said, well, God, dog, girl, can I have some water? I'm sorry. I think everybody needs a drink. I'm trying not to overwater y'all. She like, I'm thirsty. I'm getting dirt everywhere but where I want it. Okay, so I left the hen in there. The hen is the biggest plant, and the babies are the chicks. So I took some of these chicks off, and I'm going to repot them in the pot that they came out of, and they will just continue to grow. And hopefully I won't have to buy another one of these plants because, well, eventually the hen will pass away after she has so many babies. She will pass away, and then one of the other plants will grow on to be the mother. She'll be the hen, and that's the circle of life. I should put a little bit more dirt at the bottom. So I actually really did learn a lot about myself in therapy. So sad that broke me listening to her talk about that. It did. It did. It was a trigger for me. Even though even though I had, my childhood wasn't like hers, but being the fat kid, you know, some of those things came up because I remember being teased as a kid. And kids are mean. You know, kids are really mean. Even though back then, kids would say certain things about you. And then, later on, we would go on to continue to be friends. But sometimes that stuff that people said would sting. It would sting. Being called a fat girl and all that kind of stuff, that stuff did sting. When other girls were having boyfriends in high school, and, I was feeling kind of left out. Yeah. When somebody talks about their trauma, your trauma comes up. You think about the shit that you went through in school too. Even though I have healed from that trauma, it's trauma nonetheless. It's still trauma. You still, sometimes somebody will say something and that stuff will come up because it is trauma. And listening to her, you know, talk about being, not being a pretty kid. But when she said she was the stinky girl, I thought about in elementary school. There's a stinky kid at every school. Every school, there's a child that we label the stinky kid. You know, some kids did come to school stinking. And she said not only was she the fat kid, but she was the stinky kid. I'm like, damn, you was the stinky kid too? You could can't be the fat kid and the stinky kid. That's just too much. And my youngest son, he was chubby in junior high school. He was chubby, and he started to get chubby in elementary school. He started to get chubby. Junior high school, he was chubby. He was the chubby kid. And I always made sure he was Old Navy Gap down. Because if he was going to be the chubby kid, he was going to be the flyest kid at that school. He was going to be dressed better than any kid at that school. I made it my mission that he was going to look good. Because you're not about to be chubby. You're not about to get teased for being chubby and ugly. No. And the thing was, he wasn't ugly. He was just the light-skinned chubby boy. And I think that whole light-skinned thing helped him out. Because he was still cute because he was light-skinned and had kind of light brown eyes. He went on to be very handsome. Y'all know my son is handsome. He went on in high school to get tall. He got tall. So his his chubbiness wasn't as apparent because he had got so tall. But yeah, kids go through a lot. Kids go through a lot. You don't know what your kid is going through at school, and then they got to come home and go through what you going through. So I guess her parents, I think her dad was like an alcoholic, and I'm just going off of stuff that she has posted, she has said herself online. Because yesterday, she, I don't like to diagnose people because I'm not a doctor, but there are times when I feel like she's manic and she'll get on and, she'll go into her stories about her childhood and, her parents and how she was treated by her brothers. I guess I had it good because I was the only child. So I don't have that sibling component in my childhood. I don't have that where a lot of people, didn't get along with their siblings. Their siblings were an issue. They had issues at school and then had to come home and deal with their parents and their siblings. I didn't have that problem. The only thing I had to, come home and deal with was my mama and the cat. At one time, when I was in high school, we had two cats. So the only thing I had to come home and deal with was my mama and them cats. Which, you know, that wasn't a problem. Okay, I gotta water all of these plants and clean up my workstation. Are y'all saying anything? Oh, thank you, Brooklyn. Brooklyn said I was pretty. Thank you, girl. This definitely is my therapy because, once I repot the plants, I'll come back in a couple of days and I'll check on them and, see how they're doing. I The ones that I repot, I'll usually not give them a whole lot of sun, but I think I'm gonna give them some sun. I think they need some sun because they've been in the garden center at Walmart and they don't really get direct sunlight because the garden center has like that covering over it, so they're not really getting the sunlight that they need. Because if they had been getting direct sunlight, this would have bloomed by now. She's not getting enough direct sunlight for the blooms to open, because I'm waiting for them to open and then I'm going to chop that off, because the plant is sending energy up. That's why it needs sun to come down on it, like real sunlight to come down on it to help those blooms bloom. But the plant has to send energy and water and everything up to those blooms to help them open up. And it's a process, because she has three of them. She sent up three blooms. And the blooms are also a way that the if you leave them on there long enough for them to dry, the wind will blow the petals and seeds and stuff in different directions, and other plants will sprout up. And ain't God smart? This is, the a way that the plant species stays alive, so the species don't die out, because eventually this plant will die. But she done sent out seeds and she's had babies and everything, because this is her child. She's basically like, I done did what God told me to do, be fruitful and multiply. She has done that right here. Be fruitful and multiply. She has done that. Just beautiful. I mean, God, the way He designed plants and trees to just go out here and literally take care of the earth. God made trees so that He didn't have to come back. I'm going to put all these plants down here. I'm never going to have to come back and make another plant, because the way I designed them, they will continue to make themselves. Be fruitful and multiply. He wasn't just talking about us. He wasn't just talking about us to come down here and have babies. These plants have to keep growing also to keep us alive, because they help produce the oxygen and, filter the oxygen and stuff for us to stay alive. So not only are we multiplying, being fruitful, but the plants and the trees and, bananas and mangoes and apple trees and all of this stuff, they have to stay fruitful and multiply also in order for us to live. And y'all don't believe in God? Y'all don't think it's a God? Because we can't do this. We can't do this. Now, we can tamper with what God has already done. Like people, can take plants, take one species and intermix the seeds and, and make another type of aloe. But you tampering with the design that God already made. He had the blueprint. He already made it. You didn't make the species. Because if he hadn't already created it, you couldn't have added to it. Child, I believe, okay? I believe. I'm going to put this one in a pot. Hold on, y'all. I'll be back. What I do with my little thing? I think I'm going to have to put this in a pot that's already situated. Y'all got any home over here for her? Can she squeeze in here, y'all? Let her squeeze in here. Okay? Let her squeeze in here. Get down in good in there? I'm trying to turn y'all around because I'm going to the water. Can y'all see? I'm going to. Can y'all see me? I'm going to water this plant. These plants. Probably gonna put you in the shade. I'm gonna put her back on the other side. I'll be right back. Give her some water. Her some water. And I kind of put her in the shade. I didn't put her in the direct sun because she's so small. These two can go back in the direct sun because they're used to direct sun. And this is the last one. Okay. Ah, I forgot to put the fairy back. Forgot to put the fairy back in. Should give her a bath. Clean her off. Put her back. You okay, girl? You want to go back in your plant? Like, put me back in my plant. You know, I gotta go back in the backyard. I gotta take care of all the plants in the backyard. She like she's like the overseer of the garden in the backyard, because up front here the gnomes rule this area, so she takes care of the back. She's been back there for a while, so that back garden is her garden. So I got to put her back in the back. Okay, wind, I don't need you to kick up. I want this dirt. I want to put this dirt in this pot. I ain't trying to throw my dirt away. Go over here, girl. Stand up over there till I can take you back in the back. I ain't trying to throw no dirt away. Ooh, spider. Dead spider. He probably came out that dirt. It's 3 o'clock. My husband getting ready to go to work. So, this little beauty has not been doing too well. I don't think it was getting enough sun because I had it, spider web. I had it in the back. Let's take it out of here and see what's going on. The soil looks good. I don't think it's, for one thing, I don't think it's enough soil. Let's add a little bit of soil. But the soil looks good. It's not dry. It's got a few new little buds trying to come up. There you go. I gave you some new soil. You should do better. There you go. The soil wasn't dry. I don't want to give her too much water. She kind of lanky. Like she's not getting enough sun. And got a little something is kind of going on right there. Usually they have really nice heads on them. I kind of want to chop that off. Well, let's do that. Let's get rid of that. And hopefully we'll get some more plants off of there. Because I can see where some more plants tried to grow, but I don't think it was getting enough sun. And so they didn't. But we're going to give it some more sun. We're going to give it a little bit more sun. And we're going to see how I do. We gave it some healthy soil. Give it a little bit more sun. I'm going to put it in this direct sunlight. And got a plant right there. Come on, you can grow. You can grow. Okay. We got this one. Hopefully it'll fill out. Because it was small when I got it. I remember it was kind of small. because it's still in the nursery pot. So it had to have been small when I first got it. So it's growing. It's just not growing as well as I wanted to. And I know it could do better. Put a little bit more of this in there. And I don't like to throw any of the soil away. So I do have what I kind of call my composting box where I put like extra stuff. I don't want to put this in there though. Where's that bag? So this wasn't really a talking per se video. This was like more more of a watch me garden video. I need one of them dust broom things. I'm gonna have to go in the house. I'm gonna have to go in and take a shower. Well, all I gotta do now is clean up my mess. Child, my broom, my garden broom, I let it sit in the deck and it is jacked up. But we're gonna have to make it work because this is kind of a mess. You know how you look at a mess that you made and you're like, how am I gonna fix this? Does my husband know I'm outside? Because he's sending me text messages. I got this little garden. It does come with gloves. I got this from Amazon, in case you're wondering. Do I want to give her a little bit of water? I'll give her a little bit. I need one of them small brooms. You know the little dust broom? I know the wind is gonna blow tonight, and it's probably gonna blow the majority of this off. But I just want to get the big part. The rest will get blown away by the wind. Hey, Sandra. Did I say hey to Naya? Phoenix said, I'm listening to you and finishing my baby's video. What baby? Your son? What kind of video he doing? What the rest of y'all doing? What am I gonna eat for dinner? I was so mad. I hate when I go to the store. I like this broccoli, this particular version of broccoli and cheddar. It is so good, but it's a Safeway Select brand, I think, something. But they didn't have it this week, and I was mad. They usually have it, and I wanted that. Let me put this. Hold on, y'all. Y'all want to see my little raggedy room? Wait till I show y'all my little room. Look what the sun did. This is my little outside room. Look at how beautiful they are. This is my next project. I gotta get a pot and separate these girls so they can stretch out a little bit. Gotta get a bigger pot. But the sun has given them a beautiful color. They usually get green in the winter when they're not getting enough sun. But when they get enough sun, I forgot what these are called. Oh, they are Adelphi Sunset. And that's what they look like, the different colors of the sunset. If they get enough sun, they'll show out. But if not, I don't know if you can see that green down in there. In the winter months, they turn green. But they are beautiful. I need to put them in a bigger pot so that they can have a little bit more room. Looks like you need to look at the shade. So, let me show you guys the garden. So, I come out and check on everybody and see how they growing. That's the composting pot. But everybody looking pretty good. I need to water that one. I might do that right now. But everybody else is looking good. No, stay here. It's really time for that plant to come out of that pot. But one, I'm gonna need a deep pot. I gotta get a large pot. And I'm probably gonna have to break that plant up into pieces and repot it because it's been in that pot for 4 years. And I know that soil, after your plant stays in the soil becomes compacted, and it's just hard for the plant to get the water, and because most of the nutrients are gone, because it's probably nothing in there but roots and just a little bit of dirt. So I'm probably going to have to tackle that this summer. I need to get a big pot and or a couple of small pots and just break it up because it's an elephant ear jade. I might just break it up and put it into some separate pots and have it at different places in the garden. But everybody looks pretty good. Everybody is out here looking pretty good. I might bring my watering can out later on this evening when the sun goes down and uh, give everybody a nice little drink. A nice little drinky drink. Because I don't know where the water hose is. Oh, it's over there. I don't feel like dragging it over here, though. I don't feel like doing that. We do have a water hose, and I never use it. So I'm probably going to go in the house and find me something to eat. We'll take these clothes off and wash up right quick and find me something to eat and dust myself off good because I don't want to take all this dirt in the house. These clothes. I got, feel like I got dirt all up my nose and everything. Oh, well, this live was about gardening, but I've did all of the gardening. The gardening is over. We were talking about gardening and a little bit about childhood trauma. But what I'm going to do, maybe tomorrow, is come in and talk about childhood trauma and how serious that is even for adults. Because a lot of people feel like their trauma from childhood does not affect them. But unresolved trauma affects us all. And if you have not worked on that trauma, it's unresolved. So maybe we will talk about um, childhood trauma tomorrow. And I will tell you guys, maybe I'll talk about some of my childhood trauma. I will be, because I have listened to people be honest. That's one thing about connection. She doesn't have a problem telling people, parts of her story. And a lot of our story, we don't tell. We don't tell. We scared to tell our trauma. So maybe tomorrow I will tell you some of my trauma. Because I ain't perfect. I'm not perfect. My family wasn't perfect. It's a lot of stuff. I got a lot of trauma. But the only thing that I think is different between me and some other people is I have worked on my trauma. I have been to therapy. I have faced a lot of my trauma head on. And I think that's, what separates me. I don't want to say I'm better than other people, but I think that's what separates me from some other people is, some my trauma has been, some of it has really been resolved. I don't think I would be in a healthy relationship now had I not dealt with some of my trauma. I don't think I would be in a position that I am in now in such a loving and healthy marriage if I hadn't dealt with some of my trauma. So maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Because I'm not ashamed of my trauma. I'm not ashamed of the things especially not of the things that I went through as a child, because none of those things were my fault. I don't hold on to guilt and shame of things that happened to me. None of the things that happened to me, even the things that happened to me in my marriage, I don't hold on to. I don't have no guilt and no shame. Like, I'm talking about my first marriage, because the marriage that I'm in now is beautiful. Okay? I'm in a very loving, stable, happy marriage, but that was not the case for my first marriage. Yeah, our story, and I do believe that my foundation being a Christian and having the Lord is what pulled me through a lot of those situations. Is what got me through a lot of those situations is my relationship with God. Of course, I believe going to therapy helped, but God gave people the wisdom in order to be able to talk you through that therapy. So yeah, my story is a testimony because I've been through a lot of stuff. Like I haven't even told you guys half of the shit that I done been through. I haven't. But it is definitely a testimony. Like God has really brought me through so much stuff. Not only my stuff with me, but with my kids growing up in the inner city. Like my kids, both of my boys have been shot and survived. My oldest son was shot twice. That's a testimony that my whole life is a testimony of God's grace, His grace and mercy. My whole entire life, from birth up until where I am now, all I can see is God's grace and mercy. From my birth until now. Because from a small child, it was a lot of shit going on in my life. A lot. God has really been good to me. And I thank Him every chance that I get. Every chance I get, I thank Him. Every morning I wake up, I'll be like, thank you. I woke up this morning and I have been waking up lately and my eyes have been, especially my right eye, has been really puffy. Not like, super puffy, but puffy. And I got up this morning and I was getting ready to start complaining. And something in my spirit was like, you're alive. Somebody didn't have that experience this morning. They woke up on the other side. I woke up here and I was like, you know what? You're right. Let me get my butt up and get a towel and, get a cold towel, put it on my eye. I got them little, those little eye mask things. I have a lot of those. I put that on. And I just was like, thank you, Lord. Even for the puffy eyes, I thank you. Okay? Because it could have been different. I could have woke up greeting Him. But I woke up here another day. I was able to get up. My feet work. My legs work. My arthritis been arthritising. But I'm still alive. I'm still able to walk. I can take a Tylenol and go on by my business. So I thank Him. I thoroughly thank Him. Oh, He's been faithful. Yeah, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it because half the time, you just get up and go on about your business. You get up thinking about what you're going to have for breakfast and, what am I going to put on? You don't even be like, oh, God, thank you for another day. Because I know I'm guilty. I'm guilty of waking up and the first thing I do is start to complain. Oh, my back hurting. Oh, my eyes all itchy and, not even saying, God, I thank you. Because there's somebody in a nursing home right now wishing they could get up, wishing they had the use of their legs. God, I thank you. I can get up, fix myself something to eat. So many people can't do that. They wish they could. And while I can, God, I thank you. While I can get up and move around and garden and take care of myself, bathe myself, feed myself, God, I thank you. So we'll be back tomorrow. I'm finna go in here and say goodbye to my husband because I know he's getting ready to go to work. I love you guys, and be grateful for where you are. Wherever you are, whatever your situation is, be grateful for it because it's somebody way worse than you. Somebody can't get up. They laying on their bed, pushing a button for somebody to bring them some water, and you can walk to your refrigerator. Be grateful. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I love you. Thank you for being here. Bye.